Hello, hello. Numero22 here, and welcome back to the ever-growing world of my Digimon headcanons and what-ifs. Today I wanted to look at a topic that one of my viewers actually suggested. I had actually considered something similar to this a bit ago, so this really helped refresh the ideas in the old cranium. Thank you, Timothy Fraser 8218, for the idea. So yes, today we'll be exploring what would happen if each of the original DigiDestined had two partners instead of one. Now, obviously if this were the case, they would probably cut the team in half, but for this video, I will be looking at all 8. Some ground rules. Each DigiDestined will maintain their original partner with its original evolution line, for the most part. More on that in a bit. But they will now have a second, all-new partner with their own Evo line to boot. This second partner will also, except in one case, come from the same in-training form as their original partner does. So both of Tai's partners will evolve from Koromon. I also tried to pick mons that felt worked aesthetically or played into other aspects of the character or their story. As with all my videos, this is purely my own personal opinions, and you may completely disagree, but that's fine. The beauty of Digimon is how random and varied the evolutions can be. It's constantly breaking its own rules, so why can't we? Anywho, let's start with our fearless gogglehead Tai. As we all know by now, Tai is partnered with the brave and forever hungry Agumon. So for his second partner, I wanted a Digimon that was similar in aesthetic, but maybe personality-wise they would be a more reserved mon. I decided to choose Dracomon as Tai's secondary partner. Again, I imagine him having a more shy and reserved personality. Think something akin to Gabumon, maybe. I also think Dracomon is a perfect gogglehead partner. He just screams main character to me. And of course, both Dracomon and Agumon can digivolve from Koromon. Now, let's move on to the fun part. Digivolution. We know that Agumon's champion form is Greymon, but what about Dracomon? I decided to stick to Dracomon's standard Evo line here, specifically choosing Quadramon Blue as I felt the blue coloring worked well with the line and where it was heading. Again, we already know where Greymon lies with his ultimate form. Metal Greymon will remain our hero's partner, but Quadramon now has to digivolve as well. Wingdramon is again the standard progression here. He's also why I chose the blue variant of Quadramon so that the color doesn't fluctuate too much. I also just really love this line. I actually mained a Dracomon to Slayerdramon deck in the TCG for a while, and it made me fall even more in love with this line. Time for things to get weird. Let's be honest, there are 8 DigiDestined in the first season. That would leave us with 16 Mega level Digimon, which is frankly just too much. So instead of each partner reaching a single Mega level, let's have them DNA Digivolve instead. So if we combine Metal Greymon and Wingdramon, I think we would get Gaiomon. So I wanted to maintain the dragon vibes while also honoring the Greymon line, which funny enough, Gaiomon is technically considered a member of the Greymon family, even acting as one in name in the card game. I like us ending with a warrior that has a very strong presence on the battlefield, as I felt War Greymon also had. That leaves us with Agumon taking his normal route, from Agumon to Greymon to Metal Greymon, and Dracomon digivolving to Quadramon Blue, then Wingdramon. We will then end with Metal Greymon and Wingdramon DNA digivolving to Gaiomon. But enough of Tai. Let's move on to our guy who's too cool for school. Matt is of course partnered with the loyal and calm Gabumon. For Matt's second partner, I wanted to do 2 things. I wanted to pair him up with a more reckless and maybe joke-prone partner, and I also wanted to reference his path to the dark side he takes at a certain point in the first season. This left us with the fantastic partner choice of Dracmon. So not only does this do the 2 things above really well, Dracmon actually being noted as a prankster amongst the digital world, but Dracmon was also the partner of the clear Matt reference in Digimon Survive. Also, it digivolves from Sunamon, so it fits into all of my themes perfectly. Now, Gabumon will of course still digivolve to Garurumon, but who will Dracmon digivolve to? I bounced back and forth on whether or not I should copy Survive, but for at least this round I decided to. Sanglutmon is just such a solid Evo for Dracmon. He also makes a cool visual comparison to Garurumon here, which I tried to continue in the next stage. Now, we already know where our boy Garurumon is going. Where Garurumon stays an absolute beast of an Evo for him. But again, where to go with Sanglutmon? I decided to keep the humanoid vibes going, so I eventually landed on Astamon, a great secondary for Where Garurumon. I also like the purple coloring continuing on in Dracomon's line. Another option I had was Matadoramon, but he had a lot more red, and it just didn't feel like a good match for me. Now, what do we get when Garurumon and Astamon DNA Digivolve? Mercurymon. I love the idea of dark and demonic Digimon coming together to become a Godman Digimon. It also feels like a good combo of the beast and humanoid qualities from each Digimon. So, that leaves us with Gabumon taking his normal route to Garurumon and then Garurumon, while Dracmon digivolves to Sangloopmon, then Astamon. We then end with them DNA digivolving to Mercurymon. With Matt out of the way, we can move on to my personal pick for Gogglehead and Team Leader. And yes, I know some of you guys disagree with me, but I don't care. Argue with a wall. I don't care. Sora's kind and loving partner is the ever-amazing Biyomon. For her second partner, I wanted to continue the bird-like theme, but also tie in some other story elements of Sora's journey. Pomumon was the clearest choice for me. Now, this is my only choice that does not, as of this moment, canonically digivolve from the same in training form. But let's be real, Yokomon could totally become Pomumon. Yokomon starts as a plant-like Digimon, so it makes sense here. And Pomumon, though not truly a bird, is both bird and plant, which just makes more sense to me. But whatever, it's fine. In this fake anime I've created, it does digivolve from Yokomon. So Biyomon and Pomumon may both be bird-like, but the similarities will end there for now. Biyomon will digivolve into her standard champion form, Birdramon, while Pomumon will take a slightly different approach, digivolving to Parasaurmon. Not only is this the favored Evo for Pomumon, its large, grounded form is also a nice contrast to the airborne and sleek Birdramon. Birdramon and Parasaurmon will start to come closer together in forms here though. As Birdramon becomes the powerful Garudamon, Parasaurmon will take on the mighty ultimate form of Toropiamon, another mon tied to Sora's journey in the reboot. I like this flying monstrosity. It's so badass and cool looking, and I just feel like it would look awesome fighting alongside Garudamon and the other, Digimon partners. Avi, this isn't where we end. Garudamon and Toropiamon will come together to DNA Digivolve to Shuchaomon. I wanted to bring back the power of fire while also combining the monstrousness of Toropiamon. I considered so many other mons for this pick, but what sold me was the fact that Wikimon states Garudamon can become Shuchaomon if it combines with another ultimate level Digimon, and Toropiamon also shares the ability to digivolve into this mon. It was a solid fit. That leaves us with Biyomon taking her normal route to Birdramon and then Garudamon, while Pomumon will digivolve to Parasaurmon, then Toropiamon. We then end with them DNA digivolving to Shuchaomon. Oh, Sora, you deserved the world and deserve to lead the team. But it's time to move on to our resident tech head. The excitable and eccentric Tentomon stands, or I guess floats, fiercely by Izzy's side. Though electrical in nature, I always felt Izzy could use a robotic companion as well. Hagurumon was my choice for Izzy's second in command. I toyed around with the Kokabuterimon, but frankly the naming mechanic kind of frustrated my mind, so I went full robotics. That being said, the insectoid nature of Tentomon's line is not lost on Hagurumon. Tentomon will still digivolve to Kabuterimon, but Hagurumon will head towards a different beetle-like mon, becoming Ballistamon. Keeping him still primarily robotic, but with clear insect inspirations was important to me, especially as I get closer to the destination of these lines. I also really like having one mon flying while the other kind of stays grounded. Effective strategies work. I mean, it's an effective battle strategy, and it's something that I think makes a lot of sense for these, two-team people. Now, the names for these next Digimon really solidified this line for me. Avi, Kabuterimon, will become Atler Kabuterimon. Yes, I decided to keep Atler instead of using the dubism Mega Kabuterimon, because not only is it confusing when he's not a Mega level, but it also works really well when Ballistamon digivolves to Atler Ballistamon. Both of these mon are designed around the Atlas Beetle, and that's just too good of a comparison for me to pass up, and it worked really well for what I was shooting for. What happens, though, when the Atler boys join forces? Atler Kabuterimon and Atler Ballistamon will DNA digivolve to Tyrant Kabuterimon. Maybe. Listen, I actually love him, and he was one of my mains in Cyber Sleuth. I have another one that we'll discuss later. I really hate Kabuterimon being a part of the name. Like, it bothers me, especially because we have a Kabuterimon coming into the fold. It just feels like we're ignoring the other. So, my other option, aside from Tyrant Kabuterimon, would be Metal Life Kawagamon. Another fave, honestly such a solid mon and just a cool end for a bug line in general. It meshes the insectoid nature with the robotic nature, and I do really like that. But both work. Genuinely, both could work here. So, Tentomon will take his original route to Kabuterimon and then Atler Kabuterimon, while Hagurumon will digivolve to Ballistamon, then Atler Ballistamon. We will then end with them DNA digivolving to Tyrant Kabuterimon or Metal Life Kawagamon. My boy Izzy got 2 sick-ass partners, but let's move on to the best girly around. The beautiful Mimi is joined by the fun-loving Palmon, but her second partner knows how to have fun too. Tinkermon. Again, both of these partners derive from Tanamon. This time, though, I wanted to ditch the plant life and focus more on the fairy aspect. Palmon will carry the plant vibes for now by taking its usual champion form, Togemon. However, Tinkermon has a really solid champion form, so she will digivolve to Petermon. Not only is Petermon such a cool Digimon that I love, and I've said this in other videos, I need the next Digimon story game to have a full Tinkermon, Petermon, etc. line. But I'm loving the green themes. You know, we're keeping the color theme for the crust of sincerity, and I just love it. But we gotta move on though, and we gotta keep the green thing going. So, Togemon will of course continue and digivolve to Lilimon. I love her so much. As a kid, she was low-key my favorite of the groups. But I lied and told everybody my favorite was Patamon, or my favorite, I said Wergarurumon, but that was for reasons I was not willing to admit at that point. But Lilimon really is my true favorite out of the group, in terms of ultimates. But Petermon is also great, and she's gonna take a really interesting path here, and I might lose some of you guys. Gillied Human is what I have landed on for her ultimate level. A little weird, I know, but I like that this weirdo is still a fairy Digimon, and I love the idea of these two very different Digimon being besties. It also adds back in some plant-like elements, but that could be a stretch. I just kind of like the idea of, you know, once Tinkermon evolves into Petermon, a lot of it is still covered, and I like the idea of her continuing to kind of cover herself while she's, like, mid-transformation. Now, who will the unlikely besties fuse to become? Through DNA Digivolution, Lilimon and Gillied Human will digivolve to Lotusmon. Such a fantastic mega. I like the idea of her 2 staffs representing her fairy and her flower side. Staffs? Staves? Staffafas? No, I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, with all that being said, Palmon will, of course, become Togemon and then Lilimon, while Tinkermon will digivolve to Petermon, then Gillied Human. We then end with them DNA digivolving into Lotusmon. With the digital world's true princess out of the way, we can move on to this guy. I'm kidding. I don't hate Joe. I certainly don't hate Gomamon. Our boy's OG partner is amazing and I love him, but I wanted to give Joe a more reserved second partner to maybe balance out Gomamon's crazy antics, which is why Syakomon felt like the perfect choice. Again, both partners digivolve from Bukamon, but Syakomon's shell and defense makes him feel like a good foil to Gomamon. But they can't stay little forever. Gomamon will of course digivolve to Ikakumon as he does in the anime and other media. Such a good boy. I've always loved Ikakumon. Honestly, I love all the damn Digimon. But I've always loved Ikakumon just because he's just so big and fluffy. For Syakomon, I decided the best champion form would be Shellmon. So not only do we carry the shell theme, but it plays off of Joe and his fear when he initially meets Shellmon. You know, don't they know I'm allergic to shellfish? Like, that little joke, I loved it as a kid. I thought it was so funny. I repeated it to everybody, and they were like, what the fuck are you talking about? But yeah. But I wanted their ultimate forms to be different. In their champion forms, obviously, you know, they are clearly both big boys, but I wanted their ultimate forms to kind of differ. So Zudomon will obviously stay Ikakumon's next level, but Shellmon was a hard choice. I finally landing on him digivolving to Divermon. I like the idea of Shellmon retreating into the shell as it like spins around and then having Divermon break free. I love a good visualization of a Digivolution, and I've always loved that. I think that's part of why I loved Lilymon, because she, you know, bloomed from the flower on top of Togemon's head, and I just always thought that was really cool. But yeah, what he'll lose though in defense, he will gain in speed and attack. Now, how do these two fit together? Zudomon and Divermon will DNA Digivolve to Neptunemon. Another one of my favorite megas, and this is another one of my mains from Cyber Sleuth. I love that he is like this deep sea warrior and also references the Roman god of the sea, Neptune, which feels like a cool continuation of Zudomon's clear Thor reference, another god. But diving headfirst into these lines, Gomamon will take his normal route to Ikakumon and then Zudomon, while Siakomon will digivolve to Shellmon, then Divermon. They will then come together to DNA Digivolve to Neptunemon. Alrighty, let's leap out of the water and move on to our Beacon of Hope. TK and Patamon, the adorable duo. But what to do for a second partner? This was actually pretty easy for me. Tsukaimon is my choice for his other partner. Now, Tsukaimon is one of my favorite Digimon, like one of my favorite rookies of all time. I love Tsukaimon. I don't know if he's top 10 or not, but I do really like Tsukaimon. But I wanted to do the cute twin Digimon thing, kind of in reference to Lopmon and Terriermon, and I wanted to have something opposite of his usual partner's line. I'm sure if you are a Digimon fan, you can already tell where we're going, but I'm gonna get there, so let me get there. Let me do it. Okay. So, these little guys are about to clash. Patamon will take his usual path towards the Lord and become Angemon, while Tsukaimon will walk down a darker road, digivolving to Devimon. Yeah, we love the whole angel and Digimon. Yep, we love the whole angel and demon vibe. It's no secret that I love the idea of an evil-looking Digimon fighting for the side of good, and I think this works so well. Two halves of a whole, these guys are, but let's go one step further. Angemon will take his usual ultimate form of Magna Angemon, while Devimon will digivolve to Neo Devimon. First off, I liked using a similar naming format here, but I also feel like they could have like a whole episode of not judging a book by its cover. They could do that with Devimon or Neo Devimon, and I really like that. I also think it'd be a cool way for, you know, Astamon and Neo Devimon to bond or whatever. But these polar opposites will come together to DNA Digivolve to Lucemon Chaos Mode. I decided to use the Chaos Mode name as opposed to the Fall Down mode to lessen the evil themes, as I feel this honestly shows a good mix of the two, aesthetically at least. You have the angel wings and the bat wings on you know, one side or the other. I really like it. I like Lucemon, specifically Fall Down mode. Mainly because regular Lucemon freaks me out, but whatever. Moving Heaven and Hell, Patamon will take his normal route to Angemon and then Magna Angemon, while Tsukaimon will digivolve to Devimon and then Neo Devimon. We then end with them DNA digivolving to Lucemon Chaos Mode. Now, on to our final DigiDestined. Kari was late coming to the digital world, but man did she take it by storm. Her partner Gatomon fought with her to save both worlds and in the end succeeded. But for today's video, Gatomon will not be stuck at champion level, so let's say hi to Salamon. I absolutely love Salamon, and I've complained to this day that they did not give Salamon enough time to shine. I love that she was an official partner in Digimon Re-Arise, even if that did fail. But I really wanted the reboot to leave her in her rookie form, but they didn't, but I digress. How many times can I say but in this script? Jesus. Anyways, I wanted to give her another, you know, her second partner needed to have a... Frankly, I wanted to do another twin Digimon thing, and you guys can already probably tell where I'm going in general just the moment I said DNA Digivolution, but anyways, that's why I landed on her second partner being Houndmon. Alright, y'all, I did a recolor, but I only did one this video, so don't yell at me. Okay? I'm trying to lessen how much custom Digimon I make, especially when my custom Digimon are just recolors, but whatever. Okay. I originally planned for a black recolor, but I couldn't do it in Photoshop and make it look good, so I opted for a purple one. I also made the ring around her neck a silver unholy ring. Lastly, I chose Houndmon. I chose the name Houndmon to reference Hellhounds, so I thought that'd be kind of cool. Now, Salamon will, of course, keep her usual line and become Gatomon. But for Houndmon, I decided to really keep the twin vibes going, and she will digivolve to Black Gatomon. Another name I did not care for. I find it boring when they just throw a color into a naming format for this, so I would rename it to Bombaymon after the black cat breed, but use whatever name you want. I'm not your mouth boss. Now, Gatomon and Bombaymon gotta take the forms y'all have probably already guessed. God, I hate the art I use for Bombaymon here. It's so uncanny, like it's Uncanny Valley 3D. Yeesh. Anyways, Gatomon will become Angelomon. Such a great Evo. Another one that I loved as a kid, and I remember telling people, yeah, I like it because she's hot. No, I like it because I'm fruity and she slays. Sorry. Anyways. Bombaymon will, of course, digivolve to Lady Devimon. Now, Lady Devimon I do find really hot. And that's not just me trying to straight bait. I know you guys already see what's happening here, but it just works too well. So, Angelomon and Lady Devimon, the sisters in war, the risen and the fallen, they will, of course, come together to DNA Digivolve to Mastamon. Again, I know you all saw this coming, but Mastamon is just such an iconic legend, and she was perfect for this. I am obsessed with the conflicting, style. I just love it. I love so much that like half and half split down the middle. It's just so cool, and if you don't think it's cool, you're wrong. Usually I say everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but in this case, you know what? You are entitled to your wrong opinion. That is okay. Fine. Our final DigiDestined is now wrapped up. Salamon will take on her normal forms of Gatomon and then Angelomon, while Houndmon will digivolve into Bombaymon, or Black Gatomon if you hate fun, then Lady Devimon. We will then, of course, end with them coming together to DNA Digivolve into Mastamon, the most iconic DNA Digivolution, in my opinion. Omnimon can suck an egg. But we're not done just yet, speaking of Omnimon. I've got a lot of shit for not going over Omnimon alts in previous videos, so let's look into this. I have never liked that they have an entire team of 8 children, and the strongest form is afforded to only 2 of them. Yes, you can argue, oh well, TK and Kari were also a part of it because Angemon and Angelomon had to shoot them with their arrows. That was once, and then they were never needed for it again. So no, the strongest form is only attributed to Ty and Matt's partners. So instead of only having Ty and Matt's partners come together, all 8 of the DigiDestined fused megas will join together in this weird canon I've created in my head and digivolve to Jesmon GX. I messed that up. Jesmon GX. Not only is this a badass mon, but it's also canonically one of the most powerful Digimon ever. I considered regular Jesmon, but this guy looks so much better as an ultra form for the group than regular Jesmon. I like the colors, I like the blades, it even gives some Omnimon vibes. I love everything about Jesmon GX, genuinely. But there you have it. This is what I imagine would happen if the DigiDestined were given 2 partners instead of 1. Let me know what you think, or if you had other ideas for, secondary partners for these guys, or even different directions for the Digivolution lines. As always, if you like my content or this video in particular, please subscribe, like, comment. Also, feel free to check out my TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, linked below. Twitter is really just full of me shit posting and talking shit about Digimon and Power Rangers. And lately, Pokemon. I actually have a Pokemon video coming up I'm really excited about. I'll spoil it here. I created a new type for Pokemon that I'm going to go through and talk about like what it is, and it's kind of different from what I normally do, so I'm excited to talk about it. But anyways, Beneath those links, you'll find a link invite to our Discord channel, so feel free to hop on in and join the 282. Talk some shit with me about Digimon. We have a TCG a TCG channel in there as well, so feel free to hop in, see if people want to play some TCG. As we get more people in, we can maybe do tournaments and stuff at some point. I'm very, very into it. But either way, thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye! I love Digimon. What? What? Oh god. Oh Jesus. Lucy. Lucifer. I jump on Jay. Oh boy. Okay. My god.